So we'll chant Om 3 times, followed by the invocation shlokas. Okay. Inhale deeply. ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. Morning everyone. Hari Om. We are covering chapter 8 of Bhagavad Gita. In the end of chapter 7, Bhagavan said, use certain terms for which Arjuna asked clarification questions. Please define these terms. These terms are Brahma, Adhyatma, Karma, Adhibhuta, Adhidaiva, Adhiyajna, Prayanakale, etc. So the first term, Brahman, is important, right? So that is like having the vision of Brahman. Once we understand that what Brahman is, right, having the vision of Brahman everywhere is the coverage of all the terms from second to sixth. Okay, so Adhyatma means I myself am Brahman. Okay, I am the Sakshi. Then Karma. Okay, karma is another term that has been asked to define. Okay, so that means karma is yajna. Yajna, whatever I perform, it must be for Brahman alone. Okay, so uh, seeing this whole world as me alone, okay, I am performing Panch Mahayajnas. So we talked about what are those 5 Mahayajnas. One is called as Brahma Yajna, meaning learning of this knowledge and passing it on, right? And Deva Yajna. Deva Yajna means taking care of the entire cosmos, right? So that means that like taking care of ecology. So for example, taking care of water, so that way like water is not polluted. All of that is Deva Yajna. Manushya Yajna. Manushya Yajna means taking care of all people as our own, right? And then Pitru Yajna. Pitru Yajna is whatever our forefathers have passed to us as culture, as samskaras, as traditions, we need to pass those. So we talked about Brahma Yajna, Deva Yajna, Pitru Yajna, Manushya Yajna, and Bhuta Yajna. Bhuta Yajna means taking care of all animals, etc. Right? So all of these we have already talked about. Then it said Adhibhuta. Adhibhuta means the entire world that we see around us, right? The physical world is none other than Brahman alone. Meaning Brahman alone, and Brahman is who? I am Brahman. So this is the entire physical world is the same me, extension of me. Adhidaiva, meaning anything that is beyond us in terms of cosmos, entire Sukshma Prapancha. Sukshma Prapancha meaning uh, the n- not just like my thoughts, but everyone's thoughts, etc. All of that are part of the Sukshma Prapancha because they're all part of Sukshma Prapancha. Respect in one way, like respect everyone else's thoughts, everyone else's feelings, everyone's actions. Meaning, even if someone does a bad action, understand that the they are going through. I mean, I'm not saying like if someone does a bad action, don't say that, oh, that's all right, that's all right. That's not the point. The point is that they are doing whatever actions they are doing based upon their vasanas. They are going through their vasanas. So be it. But as my duty, if I need to oppose it, I'll oppose it. Okay, as my duty, if that's a good thing, let me support it. So that's how it should be, right? Because of even if you look at this whole the Gita context, Arjuna or Pandavas are fighting Kaurava. So if Bhagwan says that, okay, treat everything as me, meaning like Kauravas are also me, my extension only. But Kauravas have done not one, but a series of bad things because of which I had to fight. That is the attitude Arjuna should have. That is what Bhagwan is telling Arjuna. So that's what about Adhidaiva. And Adhiyajna is referring to Karna Prapancha. So that means that Bhagwan is right within me and he is the one who is propelling everything. Okay, because see what happens is that whether we are a good person or a bad person doesn't matter. For everyone, we have something called Karna Sharira, the causal body. And in that causal body, there are vasanas. Okay? And those vasanas are coming with us from several births. Because of that, we don't know when what vasana comes out. So, and understand that Ishvara is the one who decides when a particular vasana comes for fructification. So, now, when a vasana is coming up, a good vasana or a bad vasana, just turn to Bhagwan and say, Bhagwan, this vasana has sprung up in me right now. Okay, this as a thought. I am offering this thought to you. What you want to do is up to you. So like that, you just let it go. Okay, so that's what is that's all we can do. So then the final one is prayana kalepi chamam. That's what he said, right? So at the time of travel, at the time of travel here is referring to when a person is departing from his body. So at that time, what needs to be done? That is what was explained in Shloka 5 and 6. So he said that even at the time of departure, antakale cha mameva smaran mukta kalavaram. If one is able to think about me at the time of death, even at the time of death, okay, then yaha prayati sa madbhavam yati na uh, asti atra samshaya. So that person will reach me alone. This is what Bhagwan is saying. Now, no, and he also said that because the general rule, like he said in verse 6, is that yam yam va api smaran bhava tyajante kalavaram, meaning whenever or whatever you are, I mean, like whenever someone is passing away, whatever thought that they have at the time of death, tam tamevaiti kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavitaha. So, whatever in the same form, they are going to be taken at next birth. So, whatever the idea is, whatever form someone thinks at the time of death, that is the form, or affiliated to that form, they are going to take their next birth. So the point is that if we are able to think about Bhagwan, we are we will be able to reach Lord. On the other hand, if we think about something else, we will become that. How is that? What is the philosophy behind it? Is simple. At the time of death, what we think of is based upon what we were thinking of throughout our life. So that would be our final thought. When that final thought is there, that means what happened is that all our life we spent thinking about that and doing something in those lines. So as a result, what happened is that our actions and our thoughts have goaded us to a particular lifestyle, trying to achieve a particular thing, and that is what we are going to be. Uh, so they are like our predominant vasanas, and those predominant vasanas push us to take birth in that, in a similar life form, in a similar circumstances, situations in our next life. That's what the idea is. Okay. So, therefore, how should we manage? So, for that, again, Bhagavan himself is answering the question in verse number 7. Okay. How should we manage our life? So, I'll break down the verse 7. Please repeat after me. Okay. Tasmat sarveshu, together become Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu, single word, mam anusmara. Mam is one word, anu and smara. Together becomes mam anusmara yudhya, one word, cha. Tasma sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhya cha. Myi arpita mano buddhir mame vaishyasya samshayam. So this is a one single samasta pada for entire second line. So the breakdown is Mayi arpita mano buddhi. Actually, manaha and buddhi becomes mano buddhi. So Mayi arpita mano buddhi. That's where we will break. Okay. Mameva, actually, mam eva becomes mameva. Eshyasi, mameva and eshyasi becomes mame vaishyasi. Eshyasi and asamshayam becomes eshyasya samshayam. So together becomes mame vaishyasya samshayam. Okay, so this is a breakdown. So one of you please go off mute and repeat after me. Tasma sarveshu kaleshu
तस्मा सर्वेषु कालेषु
मामनुस्मर युध्य च
मामनुस्मर युध्य च
मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः
मय्य पुतर्निनो बुद्धिः
मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः मामे
पुतर्निनो
वैश्यस्य संशयम्.
मामे वैश्य संशयम्.
Thank you. So tasmat. So tasmat means therefore. Therefore meaning like, here what Bhagavan is saying is that he is guaranteeing that someone will mam eva eshyasi asamshayam. Okay. Mam eva means me alone. Okay. Me alone means eshyasi. Eshyasi means they will, in future tense, okay, reach. Asamshayam, there is no question about it. Meaning they will reach me alone. There is no doubt about it. That's what he's saying. So that means what happened is that he is guaranteeing something. What is he guaranteeing is my arpita mano buddhi. Okay. So you surrender your mind and intellect for me. Mai arpita mano buddhi. So, and sarveshu kaleshu. Okay, sarveshu kaleshu means all the time. Okay. So, you had to draw, okay, so sarveshu kaleshu in at all times, you had to do this mayarpita manobuddhi, meaning like you have to surrender to your mind and intellect to God. Okay. And then mam anusmara. Okay. So mam, mean like thinking about smara means think. Anusmara means after thinking. So that means that you first think of God and then yudhyacha, perform your action. So you had to, so we have to first thing is that all the time think about Bhagwan and perform the action. And we have to surrender both our mind and ego to Bhagwan, and then we will reach God. Okay, there is no question about it. This is what the meaning of it. Now, the question is, how is this? Mai arpita mano buddhi, like, how is this possible? Because how is it I can always think about God and offer myself to God and think about God before performing every action? Because this is practically impossible. So, uh, there's an interesting story I heard, not interesting story, like interesting parallel. Um, I was learning in a recent class. Okay, so here, this is how it is. The example that is given is from Ramayana of Hanumanji. What happened with Hanumanji is that he was just a monkey. He was a powerful monkey. Okay, not monkey, Vanara. Okay, he was a powerful Vanara. And when whether he introduced Rama to Sugriva, etc., or when he was going in search of Sita Devi, he was just tired and everything like that. But when Jambavan reminded him about his true nature, then his connection with Lord Sri Rama was established, and then he was able to jump through the Indian Ocean and reached Mother Sita. Now, when he reached Mother Sita in the Ashoka Vatika, he found her. He started singing the Ramayana, the story of Lord Rama. Then Sita Devi heard the her mind, like she was like in so much pain when she was hearing the Lord Rama's glories. Her mind was pacified a little bit. She was so happy. I mean, like happy means like okay, there's a little bit of a peace in her mind. At that time, she was wondering who is this singer, and Hanumanji appeared as a small child. And then she asked, who are you? He said, he didn't say, I am Hanuman. No. Or I am Anjani Sutta, nothing like that, okay? Rather, he said, I am Ramaduta. I am Sri Ramaduta, meaning I am ambassador or I am the servant of Lord Sri Rama. So, this is a big change. So, how did he identify himself? From that point onwards, once he started jumping, I mean, like once Jambavans talked about his true nature, Hanumanji he did not call himself as I am Hanuman. He did not identify himself as Lord Hanuman. Rather, he identified himself as I am the servant of God. And after that, pretty much everything that Hanumanji did, right? Whether it is jumping to Sri Lanka, Lanka, or burning the entire Lanka, or his entire fight in the war field, in the war, or going to Himalayas and bringing the entire mountain on which the Sanjeevani plant is there, right? All of them were done so effortlessly, so easily, because he has identified himself as servant of Lord Sri Rama. So then what happened is that he does not, once he identified himself as Lord Sri Rama, he doesn't need to think about that, oh, I am performing this action for Sri Rama. I am performing that action for Sri Rama. Like that, he doesn't need to do, because his identity is, I am the servant of Lord Sri Rama. So when that is done, every action that is done is for my master alone. Okay? So that is the, so what happened is that the identity has changed. Now, think about it, right? In our offices, okay, when you go to work, we are recognized as we work for company X. Okay? Not X as in Tesla's X, okay? This particular company, right? When I identify that I work for this company, every action that I am performing is for that company alone. Okay, every action that I'm performing is for that company alone. And why? Because my identity is that I am an employee of this company. Okay. And in fact, like, like if any of um, service people come from any companies, right? So for example, whether it is plumber or gas or heating company or anything, they wear a shirt, right? A uniform, which represents their company, right? The company badge right somewhere here, right? So then as soon as we see that shirt, we open up the door, right? Whether it's Comcast, whoever, and say, yes, come in, do whatever work you need to do, right? That shirt or that badge allows them to come inside our home, right? Where a utility company, if they, otherwise, if a utility company person, they don't wear that shirt, we don't know who that person is. We won't trust them and we won't let them in to check our appliances or utilities or anything like that, right? So that shirt gives them that authority for them to say that I represent this company. I need to come in to take care of it, and then you let them in. So what happened is that as an individual, they are not allowed into the house, but as an employee of that company, they are allowed into our house. So what happened is that that opened up the doors. So in the same way, when we identify ourselves with the highest, because like today we identify like that, okay, in our with our, when we go to work, we identify with our company. When we are in a family, we identify as a member of the family. So everything that we do at family is based upon keeping peace across all family members and trying to do what is right for all of them. Right. So this is how we do. So like our identity right now is company-based identities, their family-based identities, their friend-based identities, they're like that. Like we have different identities, but there should be one identity that overpowers all these identities. That is, I am the servant of the Lord. Once that identity is there, then my mind is surrendered to God, my intellect is surrendered to God. Everything that I'm performing is for God alone. And then we, the promise that God has made, Lord Krishna is making, that they are thinking about me and they will reach me. That becomes true for us. Okay, so I'll pause here to see if you have any questions on this particular shloka. No questions. Okay. So let's shall we go to the next shloka? This shloka again. This is the eighth verse. We will break down this verse first. Abhyasa yoga yuktena. So this one has three words. Abhyasa yoga yuktena. Together becomes Abhyasa yoga yuktena. Chetasa. Single word. Nanya Gamina is three words are there. Na, Anya, Gamina. Paramam, Purusham, Divyam. All of them are single words. Paramam, Purusham, Divyam, Yati, Parthanu Chintayan. That has got Partha, Partha, Anu Chintayan. So these are the words. Okay. So this is a breakdown of this shloka. So one of you please go off mute and repeat after me. Abhyasa yoga yuktena.
Go ahead, Jay. If you want to do it, go ahead.
All right. One more time, Venkat.
Abhyasa yoga yuktena.
Abhyaya yoga yuktena.
Chetasa nanya
Chetasaya gamina.
Chetasa.
I'm sorry?
Repeat after me. Chetasa
Chetasa
na
na
anya
anya
gamina.
gamina.
Nanya
Nanya
gamina.
gamina.
Okay, Nanya gamina. Okay. Paramam purusham divyam.
Paramam purusham divyam.
Yati parthanu chintayan.
Yati
Partha.
nuchintayan.
Good. Okay. Partha anu chintayan. Very good. Jay. Okay. So here, now, the other thing is that now how do we do this, right? So even like it's not like, so for example, in case of like the day you got married, now it is fixed. Okay, so now I'm married to this person. So now I'm not single anymore. Now I cannot do anything I want. Now whatever I do, it must be, it is only that those things I can do only those things that work for both of us. That's how it changed. Then as soon as I joined a company, I got the badge and I went through the HR orientation, whatever, and my job responsibilities are explained, and automatically like, okay, from now on, I am the employee of this company and I have to behave accordingly. That kind of thing is there. Now, when it comes to Bhagwan, there is no such what you call like a ritual, and okay, so now starting after this ritual, you are uh, the servant of Lord. That kind of a thing is not there. And the thing is that even if something like that is there, it is not something that is external, but it is internal. Okay, that change must come inside us, and that change comes through practice. So that how that practice is what is emphasized in this shloka. Abhyasa yoga yuktena. Meaning, abhyasa means practice of what? Of yoga. Now, especially like in Western world, when we say yoga, our understanding is physical yoga followed by some pranayama, etc. This is not the yoga that we are talking about. Here, yoga is referring to upasana. Upasana meaning you sit in front of the pratika. Pratika means a symbol of God. That means a photo frame or mm, what you call it, a murti or something like that. Or if there is nothing, you just close your eyes and then you try to reach God. How do you reach God? Meaning what? That means that you're doing a japa with full concentration. Okay. You're chanting the name of the Lord. Okay. And when we are chanting the name of the Lord, what happens? The name has a meaning. And you are thinking about that meaning and you're reflecting on the meaning. And then you, as you're chanting continually and continuously means what? For long time every day, for a good amount of time every day, for a long period. So for example, take this. Om Namo Narayanaya. What does it mean? Om Namo Narayanaya. That's a mantra someone can chant daily and continually, right? For maybe half an hour every day or something like that, and for, or more if you can, and for on a daily basis for a long time you can chant. But what does Om Namo Narayana mean? My pranams to, meaning my salutations to Narayana. That's a simple meaning. But what is Narayana? That's also we should understand. Nara Ayana. Ayana means what? Does anyone know? Ayana means? Ayanam means the path. Okay. Now, if you see, do you know the word prayana? Actually, prayana has come in here only in this chapter only, right? Prayana means travel, right? So that means that something that is prayana is nothing but pra plus ayana. Okay. So that is the path one takes is prayana. Where else you'll see? Uttarayana, Dakshinayana. Did at least some of you heard those terms? Okay. What does Uttarayana mean?
The first half of the year.
The first half of the year, when the path that sun takes through northern line is Uttarayana, and the path where sun takes southern line, right, that is called as Dakshinayana. Okay, so Dakshina is south, Uttara is north. Then also there's another term, okay, where we hear this Ayana very commonly is Ramayana. Okay, that means path of Lord Rama is Ramayana. So Narayana is the path of Nara. Nara means humans. Now, interestingly, Ayanam means not just the path, it is also destination. Okay, destination where we go is also called Ayana. So, the one who is the path and our destination is called as Narayana. My path is also Narayana, my destination is also Narayana. What does that mean? See, the thing is that, like, let's say you are in Portsmouth, and if you need to go to Boston, Boston is a 1 hour drive or something like that. So I understand this. This is my path is 95. My destination is Boston. So something like that. So that makes sense. That I can understand. But if I say my path is also Boston and my destination is also Boston, what does it mean? I am already at my destination, but I am not aware of it. Okay? Because I'm not aware of it, the fact that I am at my destination, my journey is nothing but it is not about finding where my destination is, but realizing my own destination. Okay, so that means I am already Brahman. It is just that I don't realize that I am Brahman. It is not my personal experience that I am Brahman. So I should realize my destination, like my reality or my true nature is Brahman. This is what Narayana is. Om Namo Narayanaya. So I am going to Narayana. That means what? I am thinking about Narayana. I am thinking about my destination and I am surrendering to my destination. So if I am thinking that I am not my destination yet, I am not there at my destination yet, that is a wrong notion and I am surrendering that wrong notion to that Lord. So because right now I am seeing this Lord and me as separate. But I know that at least this Lord is my destination. So I'm going myself to that Lord so that I become one with him. So that means that I realize my true destination. That's what Om Namo Narayanaya. So like that, pretty much most of our mantras, Om Namah Shivaya, all of those, I have a similar understanding where you become one with Lord. Okay, so that is the essence. Now, that Upasana, okay, so that is what we call as Upasana. So you need to understand the meaning and you need to chant that and then you need to feel that. So that is where, see, when you have that kind of a thing, now, like earlier in the session today, we were talking about, what were we talking about? This entire, okay, I am Brahman, right? Adhyatma, Brahma, okay, what was the term Brahma means? It is my own true nature. So how is that coming through? This Upasana. Okay. Then when that Upasana is done automatically, rest of the things follow. What? This entire world is Brahman. Okay. And I am part of it. So I am Brahman. Okay. The seen and unseen. Okay. Because the entire world, gross world, Adibhuta is seen. Adideva is unseen. Even that is Brahman. So I am one with them. Okay. Like that, when we have that thought process is there, then it helps with our growth. So this is Upasana. This Upasana is called as yoga. Why is it called yoga? Yoga means joining of a lower thing with a higher thing. Right now, I am thinking that I am different from the higher Lord. So because I am lower and different from higher Lord, I want to become one with them. So this union of lower with higher is called as yoga. So that Upasana we must perform. And Abhyasa, and this practice must be performed. Abhyasa yoga yuktena. So along with this practice, okay, you strengthen this practice of Upasana. That is number one. Okay. Chetasa na anyagamina. So that's the second portion of first line, right? Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa na anyagamina. When we are performing this, how should we perform? Because one of the challenges that we have is, suppose if you are doing japa, okay, we talk about Om Namo Narayana, right? So let us stick to this for rest of the session, right? Om Namo Narayana, Om Namo Narayana, Om Namo Narayana. It's already 9:45. I only have 15 more minutes. Om Namo Narayana. I don't know what all I need to cover in this 15 minutes. Om Namo Narayana. I hope I'll be able to cover everything. This is how. So what happens is that the mind, sometimes what happens is that it is going away into something else. So what we need to do is that we need to hold on to that mind and bring it back to whatever we are doing. Gamina means going. Anyagamina means going somewhere else. Chetasa, the mind, Anyagamina means going elsewhere. So Chetasa, na means no, not going anywhere else. Okay, so mind should follow our thought. Okay, if I'm doing the japa of the Lord, if I'm doing the upasana, so let my mind also be strictly abide in the Lord. Okay, that. Okay, and then anuchintayan. Okay, yati. Yati means continue, like ceaselessly kind of thing. Okay, yati is how do you say? Do you know? We talked about prayana, right? Today, have you heard the term prayatna? Prayatna. What does prayatna means?
Trying.
Try, right?
Yeah.
Prayatna means try. Now, again, every time you see pra before, right? Pra, yatna also try. Okay? Prayatna means there is an emphasis on that trying, meaning like try again and again and again. Okay? So that yatna is the yatna and yati, they both have the same root. Okay? So that trying over and over again and again. Okay, so that continuously, right? Anuchintayan. So you need chinta means think. Anuchintayan means whatever comes after thinking. Okay, so that means that initially when you think, you're trying to figure out what it is. Now you already understood. Now anuchintan means you are thinking with clarity. So that means contemplating. So yati anuchintan meaning ceaselessly contemplating what on this exercise that Bhagwan has said. What is the exercise that Bhagwan said? Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa na anyagamina. Okay. What is the benefit? Paramam. No, okay. Well, who are you? Sorry, not what is the benefit. Who are you thinking about? You are thinking about Paramam Purusham Divyam. Okay. So he has used three adjectives for, I mean, like three forms for this Paramam. Paramam means the supreme. What is supreme? Okay. Paramam means it is so high, there's nothing higher than that. Okay, that is none other than Brahman. Purusham. Purusham means, oh, okay. Bhagavan Krishna is male, but whether Bhagavan Krishna said about all of this or not, the the person who wrote this text, Mahabharata and hence Gita, is Vyasa. He is also male, so he's saying Purusha. Okay, so it's a male-dominated society. Okay, that's not what it means here. Purusha here refers to Purnatvat Purushaha. So that means that one who is complete. One who is complete means what? There's nothing other than him or other than it. Because actually, like Brahman, when we say it is, do you know what gender is Brahman? Male gender or female gender? Any guess?
No gender.
Huh?
No gender.
No gender, yes. Okay, thanks, Bhavan. So Brahman is neuter gender. Okay, it is because Brahman doesn't see male or female is just a presence of certain genital organs, presence or absence of certain genital organs. Brahman doesn't need any genital organs to do or have any genital organs to do anything. Okay? He's not like a he. Even though we keep saying he, for our convenience, not like a human being or some animal to reproduce something. Rather, Brahman is beyond gender. So that's why we specifically use it as the term Brahman is actually a neuter gender. But when we say Purusha, okay, it is again not referring to gender. Rather, it is saying that one who is complete is Purusha. One who is complete means what? There's nothing other than Brahman in this whole universe. Okay. Whatever we think about universe is, if it exists in Brahman alone. So when there is nothing other than Brahman, there's nothing that Brahman needs to gain. So that is why this Brahman is complete. Whatever that is complete is called as Purusha. Okay, so Paramam, Purusham, and Divyam. Divyam meaning like, whatever, whenever you hear word Divyam, what does it mean? It means light. Okay, so that means that it is one which gives light. Light means what? It is Chit, or the consciousness that enliven everything, that make everything perceptible. Perceptible in the outside world as a vision, right? So if I see a tape like this, how am I seeing? Because of my eyes. But not just eyes, my mind should be there behind. But like my mind and my eyes are functioning because of the Chaitanya aspect, right? My consciousness. And when I close and I'm thinking about something, I'm perceiving my thoughts because of that consciousness alone. I'm able to perceive my thoughts. So that's why it is the illumining factor. So it is Divyam. So this we need to ceaselessly contemplate on this Paramam, Purusham, Divyam, with the mind not running away anywhere, and we need to practice continuously this yoga, and then of course then we will be able to surrender ourselves to the Lord. So I'll pause here to see if any of you have any questions. Now, in the next two shlokas, Bhagavan is going to tell how to worship God. Now, whenever something is important, right? As a speaker, what do? We change our tone. Suddenly we raise our voice so that, okay, this looks like something important is going on. Let me pay attention to it, right? Now, how do we express that? Hey, this is important in our written things. In today's world, we can bold it, okay, or bigger letters or something like that. Now, all these scriptures back in the day were written on palm leaves. If the poet who is writing, he pushes more emphasis on that, what happens? The palm leaf will be torn. So bolding or those kind of things won't work. And the size of the palm leaf is fixed. So you cannot write bigger either. So then what is the way? Then they need to change the meter of the verse. Okay. When they change the meter of the verse, suddenly like you need to chant it in a different meter, right? So then it wakes us up. So Bhagwan is saying that, okay, so these two verses are important, hence I am changing the meter. So you better pay attention. That's what he's saying. Okay, so let us look at this mm, these two shlokas. We will chant together today, and then time permitting, we'll go through the meaning quickly, but we'll review them in detail in the next session. Okay, so the ninth verse, Kavim Puranam Anu Shasitaram Anoho Aniyam. So actually, Kavim Puranam Anu Shasitaram together becomes Puranam Anu Shasitaram. The next line, Anuho Aniyamsam Anu Smaret Yaha becomes Anuraniyamsam Anusmaretyah. Sarvasya Dhataram Achintya Rupam. That will become Sarvasya Dhataram Achintya Rupam. Aditya, actually it says Maditya Varnam, right? Okay, in the fourth line. So that mu sound actually goes to the previous one, and the fourth line should start with Aditya Varnam Tamasaha Parastat. Okay, this is the breakdown. So one of you please go off mute and repeat after me. Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram
कविं पुराणम् अनुशासितारम्
Anoraniyam Samanusmaredyah
अनोरणीयां समनुस्मरेद्य
Sarvasya Dhataramachintya Rupam
सर्वस्य दातारमचिन्त्य रूपम्
Aditya Varnam Tamasah Parastat.
आदित्यवर्णं तमसः परस्तात्.
Then the next shloka, actually like these two shlokas go together. Okay, so the next one is Prayana Kale, together becomes Prayana Kale Manasa Chalena. So that one actually is Manasa Achalena. Together becomes Manasa Chalena. Bhaktya Yuktaha becomes Yukto. Yoga Balena becomes Yoga Balena. Chaiva has got two words, Cha and Eva. Together becomes Chaiva. Bhruvor Madhye. So Bhruvoho Madhye becomes Bhruvor Madhye. Pranamaveshya. Pranam and Aveshya. Samyak, single word. Sa Tam Param Purusham Upaiti. Purusham and Upaiti becomes Purusham Upaiti Divyam. Okay. So one of you go off mute, maybe Jalandarji, okay. And repeat after me. Prayanakale manasa chalena. Maybe someone else.
प्रयाणकाले मनसा चलेन
Bhaktya yukto yoga balena bale, sorry. Bhaktya yukto yoga balena chaiva.
भक्त्या युक्तो योगबलेन चैव
मध्ये pranamaveshya samyak.
गृहर्मध्ये प्राणमावेश्य सम्यक्
Satam param purushamupaiti divyam.
ततं परं पुरुषमुपैति दिव्यम्.
So as you have seen, technically, even though in your text, in many of our texts, it is shown as 4 lines. These are actually 2 lines. It is just that those lines are longer. So they broke into 4 lines. Okay, each line into two. So that's where you see that in the ninth shloka, Sarvasya Dhat, the second portion, Dhata Ramachintya Rupam, Maditya, right? So that Maditya has come because of that breakdown of that. Otherwise, it's a single line. Okay, Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasah Parastat, like that. Okay. So um, here Bhagwan is actually talking about how should one meditate. Okay, so they should meditate upon uh, Sarvasya Dhataram Achintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasah Parastat. So he actually gives lot of those details. So they're very important details. So we'll cover them in next session. So before we close, any questions? There are no questions. Shall we close? पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ Thank you all. We will